all of the 4 skills are very organized in the same way. So if we look at reading, sorry, let me take a step back. What I want to do now is show you briefly all the contents of the program, so that you can be very familiar with the way to use the different sections, and then we can sort of discuss how you might use it in your classes or for self-access or homework, or however will fit your needs. So if we click into reading, then each skill has 4 sections. There's a starting out section, and the purpose of this is to give students a very clear idea about the format of the exam in this section and anything to do with the logistics. So it's organized by there's an ebook which you can which your students can read. So it basically looks at, so for the reading test, what's in it, what type of questions are you going to be asked, how many sections, how do you complete the different sections. There will be examples of the different types of questions, so looking at the different sort of lists, how you type it. You can download the ebook as a PDF, Dan. So if you don't want to run it like this, you can download it as a PDF, which you can then use generally in your class. Examples where you've got diagrams and all the different types of questions, and a few tips on how to do this. And then at the end, there's an example sheet that you have. So this section is all about getting you aware of it. There's also a video. So let me play the video. Now I don't know what's going to happen to your whether you'll see this smoothly or not.
The IELTS reading test lasts for 60 minutes. And unlike the listening test, which is the first test, you're not given time at the end to transfer your English.
So in this video, a variety of British Council teachers are telling you how to do this section of the test. They'll give you examples, they'll give you ideas of things to look out for, but it's all about how to do this section of the test. Now, obviously, delivering video is always a bit tricky. We have 3 different channels, and you'll find that in different places, maybe different emirates, different schools, one or other of the channels will work better than the others. It's all exactly the same video, but it's sort of like one is a YouTube lookalike, one is they're all different video streaming styles. So if students struggle with one of them, they can try the others. So that's starting out. The advice and tutorials section contains, well, exactly as it sounds, it's a video, and it's a teacher giving advice on how to do well in this section of the test. And so again, it's the same principle. So reading only has 1 video. If we look at speaking, there are a total of 6 videos, 2 tutorials, and 4 videos with advice on different aspects being tested. Let me tell you. Then we have practice, and this is this is the area where there's the most material, between 10 and 12 sets of exercises. Each set has between 2 and 6 exercises in it, and each of them is interactive. So the students can do the exercise, and so for instance in the reading there will be a reading passage which will be very much like an example. There are some tips that you can read which explain how to answer these particular types of questions, and then the students actually have to do some work. So they might be typing in answers, so you can type some answers, you can get your marking, you can see your score, you can see what was right, what was wrong. Sometimes there's feedback for different questions. Sometimes gap fills, multi drag and drop, nose, all sorts of different types of interaction. So here, this is where students can end up spending a lot of time working, and it will really help students practice with their work. So that's the practice zone. Then finally there's test practice, and so this is all interactive. Students work on this, their progress is all recorded, what they've done. I'll show you that in a minute. And then there is test practice, where there are 3 practice test papers, and you can which are downloadable as PDF. So you can click to download the test paper, and it's exactly as a real test paper. So you've got you can see where you've got to write your name, candidate number. It's exactly as it looks when people are actually in the test. And so for something like the reading test, we also have an answer key, so that you can mark you can mark the answers yourself. And so how you use this will depend a great deal on whether you're teaching, testing, or whether you're guiding students for self-access. And so those are the 4 areas of the program. The starting out, which is all about the sort of the logistics and how this section of the test works. Advice and tutorials with tips and techniques. Interactive practice, and then paper-based practice. Well, the 2 that are slightly different. So for listening, the test practice includes the audio, as well as the practice tests, and speaking doesn't have any practice paper for this. One nice thing in the speaking is that within the practice zone, there are a number of videos of real candidates, real candidates, mock-ups of candidates. In fact, I think they were candidates who were just done. These were filmed by the British Council, and so you can see the student in different situations. For instance, a student who's forgotten what they want to say, who doesn't understand the question, who needs to ask for help and things like that. So these videos are very, very useful for students to have confidence in the speaking test. So that's basically the main practice area. So you can always get to it from the home page, or if you're on any of the sections, then this twisty control will take you into the different skills. Students always like to see what they've done, how well they've been doing. So there's a My Progress page which will show you what you've done in the different skills sections. So here I can see the things that I've just been doing now. Everything's sorry, excuse me. Everything's coloured if I've done it, and I can see that overall I've done 8% of the reading. I can compare myself against other users of Road to IELTS, so I can see that in reading, the average score for students across the world is about 55%, and I'm pretty much lower than that. So this can be the sort of thing that can help motivate students. You can see what you've spent your time doing, which obviously at the moment is not very much. And then I can get a detailed list of all of everything I've done. Again, not very much at the moment. A smaller section of Road to IELTS, I can put in my exam date. So if I've got the exam set up for February the 28th, then I can put that in, and it'll then count down for me how many minutes I've got left to go until the exam, which might motivate me to do more work when it gets down to a very small number. And there's a little calculator which, based on, for instance, if you marked your own test practice scores and you got 16 and 17 right in the listening and reading, you can see what IELTS score you will end up getting. Now, this is not actually marking you. This is purely an estimate. There's nothing in this package which tells you what your IELTS score is going to be. So it's all about preparation and practice. So that's about it for a quick run through the Road to IELTS itself. Another area that's very useful for you to know is that you can keep track, as well as students you can keep track of what your students have done as well. So that we have a program called Results Manager, and what you can do is for your students, you can generate reports which show what your students have been doing. You can see what your students have done. You can see their average scores. You can see how much of anything that they've done, how long they've spent working on it. So if you're giving this to your students for classwork, you can see what students have been doing, and you can keep track that, which can be very useful. Good. I'm glad you can hear me. So see if I can generate a report. So here I can see, so we can see that there are four of us have managed to do some exercises today, and we can see the course that people want, the exercises completed, how many have been done, how long we've spent doing it. And so these reports can be more or less detailed. You can do it at an average for the whole of Road to IELTS, or you can go right to the detail of seeing exactly what each individual student has done. So that's the teacher's tool, and you can use you can see that I think a lot of you know a lot of this already, but you can see that your students have already often been set up with accounts. Some of you as teachers have been set up with accounts as how people get into the program in this way. We do also, although normally students use Road to IELTS just from their desktops, there will be very soon an iPad app and an Android app for Road to IELTS, and so any student who's already got a registered account with you will be able to download the app for free, and then they'll be able to run Road to IELTS on their tablet. The webinar itself can't run on the iPad because the webinar needs Flash, I'm afraid. But the app is native to the to iPad and to Android. So that should be released in the next couple of weeks. It's been tested already by the higher colleges of technology. They were using it last semester. In their very well. So for this thing, so that's Android tablets and iPads. Or at least that's bigger Android tablets. Ones are the same sort of size as iPad.